Hello, friends. I'm so excited to be with you tonight. So, I have a story to tell you. So, a few nights ago, we got a severe storm warning, and I had not really heard about it. I heard like a little bit of something that there might be a storm coming. It might be kind of bad, but I didn't really hear whether it was going to be in our area or somewhere else. And I didn't pay too much attention to it. And then my son called me and he said, "Hey, mom, this storm is supposed to be really bad. Are you prepared?" And I thought about it and I was like, well, I'm kind of not prepared. Like, I'm really not. And he said, "Well, I'm concerned for you because I really want to be sure that you have what you need and that you're warm and you're not going to have a problem." And this son of mine is 4 hours away. And so oftentimes here in Missouri, it gets cold. It gets very, very cold. Doesn't snow a lot, but it does get ice storms. And so when there's a storm warning, it's kind of like, that's the same thing that happens every year. And so people don't get super worried or nervous about it. And when I had reached out to other family members, they didn't seem too worried about it either. But this particular son called and said, "I want to be sure you're prepared." And we talked for quite a bit about what the news said and different things. And then he said, "Okay, mom, tell me what you have." And I told him, I have plenty of blankets, I think. I don't really have anything to put water in. Like, I don't have anything to store extra water. When I came to Missouri, I came in 3 suitcases and I got injured on the way, which the way that I had to leave my home because I was displaced due to my landlord selling my home out from under me. Um, I did not have anything. I had to leave everything in storage and I just had to come with 3 suitcases. And when I got here, I didn't have a way to make a living because I had been injured. So this put me in a very fragile situation and something that I was not prepared for at all. It wasn't the way that I expected to come to Missouri in any possible way. So as we were talking, we were chuckling over it, kind of laughing over it, but also being very concerned at the same time. And he said, "Well, mom, do you have a candle at least? Do you have something that can give you light if the electricity goes off?" And I just kind of laughed because in the past, our family has been preppers for over 40 years, and we have always had preparedness. We've always been prepared. We've always had things. And even during times when my life has been shaken up by divorce and other types of things, and even times when I've had to move and leave my food storage behind, we've always been able to rebuild quickly. But this particular time, I haven't been able to do that. And it has not been a priority because the health and healing has been a priority more than preparedness. And so I kind of had to laugh about it. And I'm like, "Gee, I don't even have, I don't even have a candle." And then I remembered, oh, wait, I do. I got a candle for my birthday and I hadn't used it yet. So I went and found the candle and he goes, "Mom." And first I thought, oh, I don't even have matches. And then as I thought about it, I remembered that I had put, about a year ago, I had put um, a lighter in my drawer of my desk. And so I was just laughing about this whole thing because I'm like, oh my gosh, somebody who has been so prepared for so long and then to have nothing, it was just kind of unnerving. But at the same time, it was a wake up call for me. And it had been on my mind the last couple of weeks that I needed to start working on that kind of thing. I needed to, now that I had a little place, I needed to start stashing away a few funds, preparing a few more things, getting things in order. But I hadn't been able to do that yet. And so this was a wake up call. And he gave me one assignment. He said, "Mom, go get your candle, go get your lighter, put it in a Ziploc bag, and call me or take a picture of it and then message it to me when you've got that. And I'll give you your next assignment." So this is my assignment. And I did my assignment. And I sent it off to him. And then I think he told me to fill up water. So I did that. I filled up all the water that I could. And then it was late, so we went to bed. And so I didn't have another assignment. But he knows I'm thinking about it. He knows that I'm processing things. And I decided today to take it upon myself to write a list of things that needed to go into a 72-hour kit. And I did take upon myself to put some things into a backpack, like extra clothes and things like that, just in case I would have to leave for some reason. Um, but by far, it is not a true 72-hour kit. And so it's been on my mind. And I wanted to come on here today and I wanted to just talk to you guys and let you know that some of you may be in the same situation I am. Maybe some of you, life has just hit you, you know, a roller coaster, and you have just gone through a bunch of stuff and you're no longer prepared, where maybe you used to be very prepared and now you're not. Or maybe you've never been a prepared person. Maybe you've never been taught how to prepare for emergencies or for, financial upheaval or anything else in your life that might change. And so you don't have anything. Or maybe you are one of those people that have been prepared all of your life. You're very, very organized, but you haven't checked your 72-hour kits lately. And it's been a while, maybe even years before you have checked it. And so maybe some of your children's clothing are too small for them that's in your kits, or maybe the food is no longer fresh and good enough to eat. Maybe some of your flashlights need new batteries. Like, there might be all kinds of things that you have in these kits that really aren't up to par. So as I've been thinking about this, I've also been pondering this whole week about the garden seeds that I have sold. I've offered these garden seeds for years. Since 2013, I've offered these. We've done group buys. I've done the group by myself and then shipped it out when the seeds have come in to different people all across the United States and Canada. And then in 2019, I had this impression come over me that I needed to feed 5,000 people, and that God was going to show me how to do that through the seeds. And so I was kind of excited about this. I thought, oh, good, I can help people, because I would be so sad if anyone was starving. If anyone did not have food, I would be so sad. And it would make me even sadder if I didn't have what I needed to be able to help others. And so that's one of the reasons that I want to get myself back into a prepared situation, so that I can be a good example to others, and so that I can help others if the time arises that there's a need for that. And I haven't done a group buy on seeds for the last 2 years. Because of my own having to travel and having to move and figure out where I'm going to be, and then being injured, it just was not the right timing for me to offer seeds. And so I reached out to my grower and said, is it okay if I do another group buy? He says, absolutely. We've got seeds, so go ahead and do it. But one thing that was sad for me is that in 2019, I had reached out to him and I said, I really want to get holistic things going for these families. I want to be able to get medicinal herb seeds for them. Can you track those down? Because I know you don't grow them, but can you find good sources for me? Could we put together a packet of garden seeds, medicinal herb seeds that are beyond the herbs that you normally offer to me? And he said, yes, I will look for that. It took 6 months for him to find those. And when he finally did find them, it was only 20 of the 40 that I had given him on my list. And he says, I don't know how long we'll have these, but we'll do the best we can for as long as we can. And so anyway, when I called this time, they did not have the herbs. They didn't even have the regular herbs or the medicinal herbs. So that was very disheartening, but he says, I've got a ton of vegetable seeds, and so we can do those. So we are going to do this. I am going to start a group buy this week. Also, I have, in 2009 or 19, I felt this impression that I talked about, and I had this thought come in my mind of how this could be possible. And I just felt God telling me, you need to get hosts that can host a group buy in all different locations, and then have your grower drop ship directly to them. That way you don't have to be the middle person. You don't have to ship from your location, and it will go faster, and they will save money on shipping. So I reached out again to my grower and I said, what do you think about this idea? And he loved it. He's like, Renee, if you can do this and we can help that many people, I'd be ecstatic. And so we started, and we started doing it that year. And then in 2020, we did something like 16 group buys in the year. It was just astonishing. Like, we did so many group buys. And then in 21, we did a ton more. And then it started slowing down in 23. And then, of course, I didn't do any from 23 to 25. And so now here we are, 2026, and I'm ready to do that again. So I am looking for women that want to do, or men that want to do, be the host in their neighborhood, in their community, to be able to bring the group by there. And it's so simple and easy, you guys. I give you just a few steps of what to do, and it makes it very simple. And we're done in a week, 7 to 10 days, we're done. And I ship the order off to the grower. And within about 7 to 14 days, he gets those back to you. So it's a really quick process. And normally, every once in a while, it takes longer to have them shipped, but usually it's 7 to 14 days. And it's just a beautiful process. It's really quick. And we offer our hosts free seeds. They can earn free seeds as our gift, my gift to you, to be able to thank you for helping me and assisting me in helping these other families get these wonderful non-GMO heirloom garden seeds. Because, you guys, there are 3 things that are the most important things: food, water, and shelter. And if you don't have those, you're going to be in hard shape, really hard shape. And it's most important for you to be able to grow your own food right now. Really, really important. You know, shelter might be something you don't have to worry about. Maybe water, you have water saved, or maybe you know a source for water. But right now, our food supply is really a fragile thing. And you know from experience during 2020 that shelves on the store, or shelves in the stores can be empty very quickly. And then what do? You don't do anything. There's nothing you can do except try and find other sources. Well, I'm a source for you, and I can help you with this. And I'm really excited to be able to help feed more people. We haven't gotten to our 2,000 or our 5,000 yet. We've helped about 2,500, but now we have this opportunity to help about 3,000 more people. So I am hoping to do that in 2026 to help 3,000 more people get these garden seeds. And you can help me do that. Think of how you would feel if you knew that your neighbor was hurting for food and you didn't have a food storage, or you didn't have enough growing in your garden to share with that person. Think how you would feel if you knew that they were starving. You would not feel good. And my thought is, let's rise all boats. Let's do that. Let's rise everyone's boats. Let's help everyone. Let's make sure that every single person in your neighborhood has the ability to grow food. Let's make sure that they all have the seeds to grow, and let's make sure they know how to do it in a way that they're going to have a really good yield. They're going to have a really good harvest, and they can have good organic food so that their bodies can be healthy and their families can thrive. My goal this year also is to be able to find a way of getting a wholesale price, just like we have on our other seeds, a wholesale price on permaculture packs, which means that most of these in this pack are annuals, which you have to plant them every year. But you can gather the seeds, which we will be teaching you about. I will be teaching you about, so that you have seeds for the following season. But also, just in case you don't have a good harvest, or just in case, something happens and you don't have as many seeds as you would like to have for the following season, I'm going to also give you some ideas on what you can do to prepare in advance. And I'll talk about that in just a minute. I wanted to explain about the permaculture packs first. We're going to try to get those medicinal packs back. I'm going to talk to my grower and see what can we do to figure out how to get this back. But right now they're out of stock. And I'm going to see if he can help us find perennial plants that we can grow so that we can get those started in the gardens. Because as a permaculture gardener and designer, that is the most important thing. I have learned the value of having plants come back every year. As I grew my food forest, as my son taught me how to do it, and I grew my food forest in my home in Evanston, Wyoming, in a very cold state, very cold winter state, where we only had 70 days of growing season, I was still able to grow food and lots of herbs and wonderful things that would come back every year. And although my plants were young, my permaculture, my permaculture garden, my food forest was growing well. It was really getting established. By the third year, I hardly ever had to water it. And it still grew. And we had the first of our berries come in and all kinds of things. And the very first year, we had strawberries and all kinds of food, all kinds of things that would grow there, that are perennials that will come back every year. So my goal is to help you know how to do that in your own backyard, on your own homesteads, and even in your own places where maybe you just have pots because you're in an apartment or a small townhome or something like that. I want to be able to help you understand how to do that in a very simple and easy way. Now, if I can do this as somebody that has some hip issues and was not sure if I could do it because I was worried about getting up and down off the ground, I can tell you that when you use the permaculture methods, you do not have to till the ground, you do not have to weed, and you do not have to water as much as a traditional garden. And eventually, the food forest will grow on its own, even without you tending it. So it is wise to tend your garden, even your food forest, but it will grow. And there are food forests all across the world that are even thousands of years old that have still been producing food for people. So my thought and my son's thought is that this is the way to be able to save people so that they can have food. And you do not have to rely on the grocery store because it is a very fragile system when that is all you have. In the past, our great grandparents grew their own gardens. That was a known thing. Like they didn't even think about it. It was just something they did. They grew their gardens, they canned the food from their gardens, they preserved it in many different ways, and they didn't have to rely on everything from the store. They pickled their own foods, and so they had fermented foods, which is really good for their gut. And so they were maybe in some ways healthier than us. It's been said that this is the most unhealthy generation in many, many years. In every generation before, there were people that would get healthier and healthier and healthier. But this generation, my children's generation and my generation, are the most unhealthy generation. And it is because of the tainted food supply that we have and the way that we have, the society has brought us back into fast foods and boxed foods and things like that that are not healthy for you. They're not healthy ingredients. And so, as your Zesty Life mentor, I want to teach you how to be healthier because I'm working on getting my own health back. I'm not alone. There are thousands of people across the world that are struggling with chronic conditions. Myself, I was diagnosed in 2009 with thyroid disease. In 2013, I went back to school to learn to be a health coach so that I could heal my own body from thyroid disease. Now, I have had a balanced thyroid for several years. However, all the stress in my life recently knocked my thyroid off again. And so I'm working to get that back. The other thing that happened was I still haven't been able to lose the weight that I gained from the thyroid disease because the thyroid affects everything, including the metabolism of the body, the digestion, everything. Every single system of your body is affected by the endocrine system and specifically the thyroid. So I've been working on that still. And I now understand that we must heal on a cellular level. And Hippocrates said, "Let food be thy medicine." And I know the power of healing within the body as a holistic therapist for 25 years, working with clients with massage therapy, acupressure, and cranial sacral therapy. I have seen the incredible ability for people's bodies to heal when we give the body what it needs. And so I'm learning to discover what more my body needs so that the cells will be able to release the fat and get the nutrition inside the cell. And my body will just naturally let go of this extra poundage that has been on me for many years. And you probably are similar to that. Maybe some of you have experienced similar things to me because thyroid disease is a national epidemic right now. It may even be a worldwide epidemic. I don't know, but I know for sure in the United States, it's a national wide epidemic. So part of my reason to want to bring these seeds to you is because I want you to be able to experience good health. And I want you to know what it feels like to be able to have solved the mystery of many of the illnesses that I had, including chronic constipation and chronic digestive issues and all kinds of things like that, and gallbladder issues and all of these things. I was able to heal my body from that, and I did not have my gallbladder taken out. I was able to heal myself from lots of things, but there are still a few things that I'm working on. And so I'm working on that myself. I'm working on getting healthy and strong myself, much stronger. And I want to help you be able to do the same thing. And I really want to help you be prepared, because when ye are prepared, ye are not afraid. You do not have to be afraid. You do not have to fear if you're prepared. It takes away all that fear. So I have put together a 72-hour kit list, a checkoff list for you, and it's going to be down in the description of the video. And I want you to just have that for free. That's just going to be my offering to you, just because I love you all so much and I want to help you. Also, if you are somebody that would be interested in hosting a group buy, please get a hold of me. Put a comment down below or message me at renee@zestylifeservices.com. Or an easier way is to text me at 435-531-7803, or even give me a call. Either way is fine. I love to talk to people. I love people everywhere across the globe, and I'm super excited to help you all. So I'm happy to share my number with you so that you can get a hold of me. And you can also join my homesteading page, which is a wonderful resource with lots and lots of people. We have almost 4,000 people in that group, and I would love to see more people active. Right now, it's kind of dead because I haven't done anything in there for a while, but we are starting to add more and more content. We're starting to build that up. We're starting to share more, and I would love to see more and more people active in that group because we can help each other. There are networks all across this country that are working on creating systems that are going to run alongside the current system, but differently, so that we can be more holistic in the way that we do things, and we can rely on Mother Nature and what God has given us in the great earth, and be able to create new systems, because the old system isn't working anymore, you guys. It just isn't. And we've got to come up with new plans. So I have a lot of connections, and I know a lot of people, and I know people that are doing great things in the world. And I bet you are one of them. And I bet you that you are thinking about the same kind of things that I am when you see what's happening in the world. So let's help each other together, and let's share what we can. Let's discuss in our homesteading group what kind of things we have to offer. What are our skills and talents and abilities that we could share and barter and trade and even sell to one another. That is a possibility. And my son Jamin is creating something called TIAG. TIAG stands for the Independent American Gardener. And that is a system that he's developing of networking all across the entire country. And I love this system that he's creating. And it's just getting off the ground. It's just a grassroots project right now. But it's going to one day be very large, I think, and beneficial for people all across the country and into Canada. So anyway, that is my little story tonight. So if you are not prepared, or even if you are, go and do one thing. Get your candle and your lighter and start there. That's what you can do, one small step at a time. You don't have to get overwhelmed. Sometimes it got me overwhelmed thinking about all that I need to be prepared. But then my son helped me really think about this, and I laughed and I was like, of course I know this, but when you're in the middle of things, sometimes you don't see things the way that you should because you're stuck in the middle and you're thinking about it in one direction. Your thinking is very limited. And so he opened up my thinking very broad the other night, and I love that because we often mentor each other, which is super good. But as we did that, he was able to take away the overwhelm for me because he gave me my next step. So I want to tell you one more thing, one more tip for you is the definition of overwhelm is that you do not know what your next step is. So I'm giving you your very next step. Go find a candle, go find a lighter, put it in a Ziploc bag, and stick it in a backpack or someplace that you're going to create your first 72-hour kit or update an old one. Okay, that's my tip. And I will talk to you soon. Bye-bye.